So, why does location matter so much in real estate? What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Matthew Kaufman. Consider subscribing if you're new to the channel. What we're talking about today is real estate and why location matters so much when you're buying. For starters, a house isn't a mobile thing. Its value is contingent based off of its location. Think about it this way, would you rather buy a house that's in the middle of nowhere with the hopes to sell it for more in the future? Or would you rather buy a home that requires some renovations and fixes, but it's in an incredible area? If you're like most people, what you're gonna do is pick the latter of the course. When people think of location and why you would buy in a certain location for real estate, obviously we know all the normal ones: crime, schools, close to grocery stores, close to transportation, might be close to your job, there's different public attractions in the area, might be close to highway infrastructure. One of the hardest things I think when it comes to real estate, and if you're first looking for your first property, is trying to figure out, what's a good area and what could potentially be a good area in the future. For example, if you thought of New York City, if you bought a piece of property in New York City in the year 1900, and you thought, oh, this is gonna be great in 119 years today, you'd be right. But let's be honest, not many people actually think about doing that or realize, the future of what it could be. One example that is kind of like a real life example for me, my dad's from New York City, he's from Queens, and his parents, my grandparents, bought a co-op in Queens in like the late 1940s. As far as I know from what he told me, they bought it for somewhere between $30,000 and $50,000. Fast forward to today, and I want to say it was 2016 or so, my dad's family sold that property for, I want to say it was like close to like $700,000. So if you think of the turnover rate just based on the location, because of the location, that's why it sold for so much, was because now New York City is in a certain market where everything is super expensive. And if you got in the game early till now, you probably made a boatload of money. I think a couple factors that you can look into when it comes to real estate that maybe not a lot of people are thinking about would probably involve certain things like job growth in the area, wage growth, and graduation rates in the area. To give you guys reasons as to why I ended up buying the property that I decided to, was because obviously based off location, more specifically, it's close to a major hospital. One thing to consider when it comes to buying a property, if you're close to a major hospital, those are things that will never close down. Think about a hospital. They always have people coming in. They always have clients coming in. They're always making money. And based off of our healthcare system right now, hospitals are making just hand over fist, like crazy amounts of money every single day. So one thing, hospitals. Next one's probably gonna be public transportation. Reason being, not everybody has a car. So you want to be, if you're in a relatively metropolitan area, is hopefully have bus systems, trains, nowadays Uber and Lyft. Like I said, not everybody has a car, and not everybody wants a car for that matter either. So you have to consider every tiny detail when you're looking into buying. Next up is probably gonna be highway infrastructure. My property is less than a mile from a major highway. And the great thing about that is that highway connects two major cities, and it's very close to the small city that we're close to, which the majority of people in this area either work in or at least work around. I think another one's gonna be shopping areas. Once again, I'm gonna talk about my property. This property is within a half mile at the most, walking distance for sure, and there's sidewalks, which is great. Very close to shopping centers, close to grocery store, close to hair salons, restaurants, the post office. So all these things are gonna seriously play into, especially when you have a potential tenant and you're doing like showing on your property, you wanna stress those things. You wanna tell them, yeah, it's easily walking distance to the grocery store, to the post office, town hall, library, whatever. Once again, not everybody has transportation, so being that walking distance is gonna be super ideal for you. Next up probably is gonna be employment. You're gonna want tenants with a job so they can actually pay their bills. So you wanna be close to actual places of employment. Once again, close to hospitals. Hospitals generally have literally thousands of employees. And like I said before, hospitals 99% of the time are not gonna close, no matter what the economy is. People are always going to need healthcare. People are always going to be getting sick, especially in this country, unfortunately. Next up, I would probably say public attractions, meaning beaches, malls, grocery stores, bowling alleys, things that like leisure activities that people can do. My property's within 2 miles to the beach. I'm going to say it's a mile to a bowling alley. There's a movie theater that's 2-3 miles away. So probably, drive by car, bus, or whatever it is. You want to be near things. Not a lot of people want to be in the middle of nowhere where there's nothing to do. Public school systems. It's super easy today to go online and figure out, because each school, they get grading on based off of their test scores and based off of how much money is actually coming into the school. Because if you know how much money the town or state is giving to that school, you can generally figure out how the school is going to be and how the school is going to be doing in the future. Going back to those kind of uncommon ones that people might not think of as much, one being job growth. You always want to think about, once again, your tenants want to have a job. If they're moving to the area to find a job, then you want to realize where the economy is, obviously, if there's potential for job growth, is there new places opening up, new businesses. You always want to think of how the area that you're in could expand in any kind of way. One very good way to figure out how your town is going to be progressing in the future, go on the town's website. And that's actually what I did. I actually wrote it down here. The town that I'm in, I went onto their, the town site and their Facebook page as well. You can do that too. The town that I'm in, they were actually just awarded $700,000 to begin developments for revitalizing the Main Street area, including sidewalks, the streets, the lighting in the streets. And this is all literally within half mile. So once again, it's walking distance and there's sidewalks already. So go on to the town's website and just start searching. It's public record. They have to put it up there as to where, certain money is going and what progress they're going to be making in the future. If the area doesn't have a plan to grow, then maybe that's not the area for you to buy. You should know all these facts about the area you're looking in before you ever buy anything, because that's going to be very important when actually it comes to the point where if you do buy and now you own a property and now evidently the economy in the area is just complete garbage, now you're in trouble. Another great thing to think about is the population in your area growing? Meaning, is there a big demand for people wanting to move to that area? Let's go back to New York City. The reason prices in New York City are so high is simply just based off the demand for real estate and places to rent and own. That's why you're seeing these small apartments in New York City sell for $1 million, multi-million dollars even. You have to think about that for your own area. Are there new places of employment opening up? Is the area they're in like a new hotspot or whatever? Another good thing to understand is, can people actually afford to live in that area? Go on to, Zillow, Trulia, there's any like rental website, and just look around for properties for the types, for the size that you're looking for, whether it be, a 2-unit apartment building or whatever it is. Understand how much those places are renting for individually for the units, and then consider what the actual salary is, like the general median salary is across the area, across the town, and across the county as well. If the average salaries are increasing, that's a pretty good indicator of the economy doing well and improving. Another good thing to consider is the current age for the people that are currently living in your area. So if you live in an area where the age group are baby boomers are now anywhere between 60 and 75 years old for the most part. So they're getting to the point where they might not want to be living in a home anymore. They might end up moving to a nursing home or whatever it may be. So what that pretty much tells you is those people are soon going to be selling their house. If there's people of those age groups, 20, 30, 40s, buying properties in your area, then you can pretty much assume that there's a demand for property ownership, which means, once again, supply and demand. If there's a specific demand for it and only so much supply, automatically prices are going to go up. It's just simple economics. So just to wrap it up, location is key. Location is probably number one when you're looking for a property. Always, always, always figure out how the location is based on all these things that we were talking about today. Understand the crime rates. Obviously, you want those to be low. Understand how the schooling system is. Understand employment. Understand if it's close to shopping centers and highways and transportation of some kind, trains, buses. Realize where the job market is. Is there growth? Is there a lack of growth? How is the current wage for the people working in your area? Is the economy doing well? Is it doing bad? Is there potential, or at least for you, do you think there's potential for, where this location could be in 20 years? You always have to think in the future. So say you buy your property today for $200,000. You want it in 10 years to be more than that, obviously. You don't want it to go down. You don't want to lose your money. You want to multiply your money. It's the same thing they say for restaurants. Location, location, location. You're going to live and die based off of your location. And the same thing goes for real estate, especially rental properties where people are going to be living for long term potentially. And that includes real estate. It's the same game, really. What I want you guys to do in the comments is let me know where, if you are looking for potentially buying, where you're looking specifically and why you're looking at that area. Is the economy doing well? Is there, potential for growth in the area? Are there new jobs coming to the area? Let me know in the comments how and where you're at. Thank you guys so much for watching. Consider subscribing. Once again, my name is Matthew Kaufman. We'll talk soon. Take care. Graduation rates, and graduation rates.